There is an old saying that only fools travel alone without money. Personally, I think the greatest danger of travelling alone without money is that you start to love mankind less and nature more. When you hear that fire flicker and crackle as you prepare your dumpster dive food, and when you look down and see the display of food you've just cooked, that feeling that comes over you, well, you just can't explain it. Like this squatted farm I ventured into in Holland called the Sprouches, where I shared the knowledge of my book, The Experiences of a Talented Chef. Good evening guys, and welcome back to the Hitchhiker's Guide to Food. We're here today in Holland and we've got a huge opportunity here for this deal with Monique, who's going to teach us how to make cheese, soft cheese, on this organic biological dairy farm here in Holland. And she's going to show us today how to cook and how to make the cheese from the cow's milk which she has on her farm, and she's milked ahead of time. This is a demonstration of what actually happens and what the process is of making cheese, as what you've seen in the dumpster dive being thrown away, and how hard it is to make it and the effort that's put into it and so on and so forth. So this is Monique, and Monique is going to demonstrate how to make us cheese.
So this is cream from the cows, cream from the milk from the cows.
So we're looking for 30 degrees temperature here, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like the stomach of a calf.
Okay, so that's the temperature you're looking for.
That's how they find out to make cheese for the first time. Like about 1,000 years ago.
Okay.
They slaughtered a calf.
Okay.
And they used the stomach from the calf after slaughtering for storing the milk. They just used it for storing. Like we have plastic bags now. They
just use
the stomach of a calf.
Interesting.
Then they put it away and they found out it becomes thick.
And so we have cheese.
And so we have cheese. Yeah. It's important you heat it up, not too fast.
Okay.
Because you burn the milk.
Okay.
Yeah. You can put some sour buttermilk in.
This is buttermilk, okay.
This is buttermilk.
That's for...
And it's also a culture, Sour is a culture.
Okay.
So the idea is that it starts growing too.
Okay.
So
like
only
from...
Yeah, like a bacteria. You smell, it's like, you...
It's the same buttermilk that you use for making bread.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, Irish bread is is used.
The same product, So we're just waiting for it now to go up to 30 degrees, and then add in our strepsil, and leave it cool, and then pass it through the muslin.
So then the difference with normal cheese is that you have the 30 degrees.
Okay.
You put also sour and strepsil. You leave it like 30 minutes or something, or 15 minutes. It's just when it's good, when the milk is thick. You're gonna cut the cheese, but then in small pieces, like a rice. Like rice, as big as rice. And then you add hot water to wash a bit the milk sugar away. So then, and then you leave the water off. You put more water. You leave the water off. And then you take these small blocks of cheese, you put in a sieve. We can see in the cheese maker. I can show you how it works.
Perfect,
And then you press the cheese in a model you want. We have one model of the cheese. And then, you leave it in there to press it in this model, to press the water out. And then you take it out of the model, like after a few hours. Then you leave it in the model for a while, like half a day. And then you put it in salt water.
In salt water?
Like for a day or two. And then you take it out, and then you have to make a crust on the cheese.
And how does the crust form? The crust just forms naturally?
Yeah, no, you can do it. A part of it is formed naturally. And then you can make a better protection with butter. That's the natural way. But in the most cheese makeries, they put like a liquid plastic on it.
Liquid plastic,
And then you get the
yellow
crust.
Inedible plastic that you take off before you eat it.
Yeah, it's not eatable yet.
Alright guys, that's it for the Hitchhiker's Guide to Food in this series. You've already seen the dumpster diving, the consequences of industrial supermarket chains that are throwing out food products that are out of date and so on and so forth. You've now seen what it takes for the farmers to produce things like simple cheese and how much effort it's put into it. I think it's definitely a high recommendation to cut the waste that's been given to supermarkets for money, literally, for no other reason, and give the farmer a better chance and go directly to the farmer and buy it off of him and the farmers' markets and be able to get a healthy, nutritious product that doesn't cause any health risks at the end of the day. That's it guys for this show, and again thank you very much for watching. Good night. Guys, we're back in the Sprouches farm and we're here with some fresh chives that we got, some wild garlic chives, and we've got these from the park and we've dug them up when they're growing wild, and we put them here about 2 years ago and they've been going back every year since. So we're just going to take a little bit for our cheese that we got from the milk from our farmer. We're just going to take a little bit from the root up. We don't want to take too much close to the root so that it won't grow back, just like so. We don't want too much. Even that there should be loads. And you can see that the roots are left and they'll grow back again in the next couple of weeks. We'll have more chives. Now we've done a little bit of labour for him in the farm, and in exchange to give us cream, which is non-pasteurised and it's non-homogenised, and it's what we're going to use for our cheese. And you can see what we've got out of our skip. It's the same milk, but it's been homogenised and pasteurised, and it's been thrown out after the farmer has done all the work that you've seen. And it kind of saddens me personally that it's just been wasted after all of that. So what we're going to do is we're going to add our milk into our pot. We're going to heat it up to just boiling point, a little bit below it, and then we're going to add in some cider vinegar. Now you can use any kind of acid. You can use lemon juice, you can use malt vinegar for this process, but for now we're just going to show you how to get the boil rolling. We're just going to add in our milk from our biological cows, like so, into our pot. So we're going to mix in our skipped milk in with the milk that we have from our farmer, and it's out of date 2 days, which is it's gone through enough processes basically to be fresh. Have a good smell of it. Don't be afraid to taste it. It tastes absolutely fine. We just add these in like so, and you can see the shame really of world trade that's been thrown out like this, and it's all for money. And as I said, we've worked for our local farmer. They've got loads of work to do on their farms and could use a hand. As you've seen, they have children as well to rear, and it's nice to give them a hand, and in turn they'll give you back some fresh produce, some fresh vegetables and some fresh cream without a problem, and it saves you a lot of money, and you're supporting the farmer as opposed to the local supermarkets, which are just there for greed, as you can see, and they're not there for your benefit at all. Right, so while your milk is boiling, it's wise to just chop your chives like so. Try and get them as fine as possible to get as much flavour as possible into it. Wild, no chemicals, nothing. So it's just keep stirring your pot with your cream, and you're looking for what's referred to in culinary terms as the scald, which is just before the boiling point. And what that is that the outside of your milk will start to slowly kind of roll into itself, and you don't want it to roll fully like a boiling roll. You just want it to just slowly roll inwards from the sides, and it'll start to just come up like so. That's the point. That's very vital to get that point correct. Otherwise your action with your cider vinegar is not going to work. Right guys, so just before it comes to the boil, just before it starts to overboil, we add just a splash of cider vinegar. So just a little bit, and this will stop the whole boiling over process as well as bring it back. Just a splash like so, and we'll just see how that goes before we add any more. And we'll just do a little step at a time, stirring this into it, and we'll separate our protein from the water, and we'll continue to cook it and see if we need more vinegar. We'll add it. Just coming to the boiling point that we were talking about, and you can see that it's starting to clot, and you're getting the protein being separated from the water, and the protein that you see here is actually the cheese that we're going to be passing and sieving through it. So we'll just keep stirring. We're just going to leave it sit now that it's ready, and we've just added a little bit of vinegar in, a little bit at a time.
And you don't want to add in too much vinegar, because at the end of the day you don't want it to taste like cider vinegar, you want it to taste like cheese. Just enough vinegar, a little bit at a time, to get it in the consistency that you see, like so. Take it off the heat, and you see the water is really clear, starting to get more and more clear. So on a nice low heat, put the lid back on it, give it 3 or 4 minutes, and just let it slowly simmer and slowly separate again before we go through the next phase. Strain our cheese then. Put a strainer like so, getting rid of all the water and keeping the cheese. So the next step then is to press it down. You hear it there, just get all the water out of it. Press it nicely, and we can then add our flavouring into it at this stage. We can add in any flavour you like, as I said, and we're going to use wild garlic. You can use purple basil, you can use roasted garlic, you can use pretty much any flavour that you personally like yourself. Now that our cheese is ready, we're just going to take it out and we're going to add some flavour into it. Just out of our sieve, you can see it like that. It's moulded already almost. Before we press it, we're just going to use a fork, which is best. Just mash it up, almost separate all of it. Just a little pinch of salt. Add in our wild garlic chives. You see it there. We have it looking like that, and we're just mixing it through. I'll just show you the water that we've left from it, left over. Right, so we're just going to separate our paneer cheese. This is now paneer Indian cheese, with our flavour that we've added into it, and we're just going to separate it in two. I'm going to make a spread from one and leave the other, and we're going to press it. So I'll show you that in one moment. First of all, I'm going to make this kind of a spread for your bread or for any salads that you have, or anything like that. I'm going to add a little bit of rapeseed oil. So I'm just going to break down further the cheese. Just add a little splash of rapeseed oil. This will get a wonderful flavour. Just a little bit at a time. Literally, you want to get it like soft cheese, pretty much like Philadelphia cheese or cream cheese that you're familiar with. I'm just going to use this here. This is natural beetroot that's been preserved in a big jar, and just press it on top like so. It's cheap, cheerful, and does the same purpose as your press that you buy in your hardware store. And next, I'll leave that to one side. That's going to take about 20 minutes or half an hour to press, and you get a nice mould that you need, like a cheese that you buy in your supermarket. And in the meantime, I'm going to just work again on this here soft cheese for our lunch. And again, it's just a matter of really working it and getting it into a real smooth kind of a consistency. We've just finished making our cheese spread. I've got a little bit pissed off basically using the fork. It wasn't really working, so what I done was I used a blender and literally just started blending it into a nice smooth paste, and added in our rapeseed oil. And you can see it there, it's really smooth and it's got a really nice texture to it. And I can assure you that I just had a taste of it. That was really good. And it's delicious actually with beetroot. If you had like maybe some toasted brioche, some beetroot, some roasted beetroot with some wild thyme, and just a little spoon of this on top of it. It's a delicious lunch. Maybe if you had some rocket as well. And all these stuff, as the garden produces here in the Sprouches, we'll start introducing all these fresh vegetables that we have in our garden here. Okay, so our cheese is ready in our specially designed mould, as I said, and you see it's perfectly designed. Just lifts off like so, and the inside one comes out like so. You can't buy these in the supermarkets, you can only buy these on the website. And so. And there we have our simple homemade cheese. Just like so. And that's it guys for today's show, and join us again next week where we'll be showing you a lot more permaculture, horticulture and more cookery skills. Until next time, you too.